Hi guys, I'm going to be starting a new video series called Back to Basics, and it is going to focus on basic makeup techniques that everybody should know. So the first video I'm going to do is going to be a contouring video. If you would like to learn how to contour and the best type of powder to use for contouring, then keep watching this video. Otherwise I shall see you in the next video. I'm really pale, and as such a lot of normal bronzers, that very popular bronzers like NARS Laguna, don't really work for my skin tone because they're too dark. So I'm going to show you, especially for pale skin, what type of contour would be good to use. So here I have a few powders. So I have a few different bronzer options here, depending on your skin type, your skin tone. So the first option I have is not this particular one, but just any pressed powder that is a shade or two darker than your natural skin tone. So I like to use this one because it came in a kit, and it's a shade darker than my natural skin tone, so it works quite well to form a shadow. I also like the Too Faced Chocolate Souffle Milk Bronzer, which is just that colour there. It's a little bit darker than the pressed powder, but not too dark. If your skin tone is a little bit darker, something like the Hoola Bronzer would work. This tends to work better for me in the summer because it's a bit darker again than the Too Faced one. And then depending on what you're using it for contouring, you want a matte bronzer. So something like the e.l.f. Golden Bronzer would probably not be the best option, because this has quite a lot of shimmer in it and gives you quite a sheen compared to the other two that I've shown you. And also the e.l.f. Contouring and Blush Duo. Now this one, the bronzer in there has some sparkles, but when you put it on the skin you can't see it, so this would work quite well, but you would need a bit of a darker skin tone to be able to pull this off. So there's some bronzers. I'm going to be using the Too Faced bronzer today. I like using this one, probably the best out of them all, because it's kind of a great in-between. Okay, now brushes. Now there are a few types of brushes you can use. This is a big complexion brush from e.l.f. It's got a domed top on it. So the domed top is good for fitting in along the contours. The next option is this Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. This is an option because it's got quite a small edge there. But if you do use something like this that's really dense, make sure you don't put too much product on. Start at the top and then blend out, either with this brush or with a different brush. And lastly, this is the contour brush from Real Techniques. I'm going to be using this brush today. This one it's domed. It's pretty much a circle, but it's got this part here is a little bit bigger than all the other parts. So yep, I'm just going to get straight into it. Just going to take some of the bronzer on and make sure you tap it off. Okay, what you do, start from the corner of your mouth, go to the top of your ear, and that's kind of where you want to put it. So I'm going to start up here, just a little bit at a time, and kind of blend it. Oh, I'm a lot lighter than I was last time. Okay. I'm actually going to go to the Hoola bronzer and put it on a bit more exaggerated than I would usually, just to show you. Okay, so pretty much draw a line to about where your iris is, or the top of your eyebrow. and that's when you stop. It doesn't matter if it's a bit exaggerated or not. Once you've got that line, you can rub off the excess of this brush and use it to blend out. Try and blend in circles upwards, because you want this part to be quite defined. So some people tell you to do the fishy face to find your natural contours. So if I do that, my natural line kind of goes to the middle of my ear. But depending on what kind of face shape you have, sometimes it's better to do it differently. So if you've got a really round face, kind of going at a sharp diagonal is a good idea to make it appear like you've got your cheekbones are kind of going downwards a bit. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this on the other side slightly differently, and so I can show you the difference that contouring makes. So on this side, I am going along with what's already there. So this is the line that the hollow of my cheek is actually in, and I'm just exaggerating that a little bit. Whereas on this side, I went over a little bit of my cheeks to make my face appear a different shape. Okay, I'm going to take the brush that I used my foundation on this morning and just slightly blend the edges of that out. Once again, going upwards, not downwards. If I've used a darker contour, I'm going to use a lighter blush. So a blush like this is good. This blush is called Throb, and it's from Benefit, and it is a light baby pink blush with some kind of glitters and shimmers in there. So what we want to do is, when we've contoured, we've kind of sunken the areas of our face that we want to kind of recede back a little bit. By putting something shimmery on the cheeks, it kind of brings the cheekbones out a little bit more. So that can be done with just a highlighter or a blush that's got a little bit of shimmer in it. I like to use a blush like this that kind of works as a contour, and then sometimes make the blush a little bit darker in spots. So I'm going to use my, what's this, multitasking face brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this on my cheekbones, or on my cheeks, starting at the apples and working backwards and kind of mixing it with the contour. This also helps to kind of blend the contour out a little bit. And sometimes I also just slightly sweep that on the top and the bottom of my chin and my forehead, just because it's got not much colour, but it gives you a little bit of a radiance. And then lastly, if you would like to, you can take a highlighter. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle, and then just lightly put that on the tops, the very tops of the cheekbones, over the, and then, yeah. Okay, so that's how you contour your cheeks. You can also, if you want to, contour the temples a little bit to slim down the top half of your face as well. So to do that, it's very simple. Just get some powder. We're going to start backwards a little bit. And we're trying to kind of darken this little bit here to make the face appear thinner. And then you can also take it up the top and just put it around the top of your forehead. This kind of acts as both a bronzer and a contour, because when you get hit by the sun, this area here is going to get more sun than a lot of other areas on your face. Okay, now the difference between contours and bronzers is with bronzers, you want to have, oftentimes when you use a bronzer, you're trying to exaggerate the places where the sun would hit. So it kind of wants to be a mix of a highlighter and a bronzer. So something like this is the Too Faced Pink Leopard Brightening Bronzer. And it's got pink, which brings radiance to the face, slight shimmers in a peachy tone, which just gives a little bit of a glow, and then the darker bronzer colour. So I'm just going to use this on my forehead to give me a little bit of a glowy tan, because I'm way too pale. And sometimes you need to do this when you do contour, just because when I contour, oftentimes it looks really strange just to have a stripe of contour there, because I'm so pale. And then you can also take it down the ear and under the jawline. And lastly, I often sweep with one small row of just plain translucent powder over the top to make sure that I've gotten all the excess bronzer and powder off the skin, and it's just the stuff that I want. And then I'll spray it with a fixing spray, do my mascara, and I'm all set. There we go. So I hope that video helped you. If anyone has any video suggestions for other Back to Basics videos, I would love to hear them. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye.